Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this info session, live interactive info session on UpGrad Entrepreneurship Certification Program. Today we have with us Kushal Bhagia.
Hi.
So Kushal is the founder of Nayi Disha. As a founder of Nayi Disha, he used to create educational games for kindergarten students and help kindergarten students learn in an innovative and slightly gamified manner. So today we have Kushal with us, who is going to share with us why is it important to follow a structured way in your entrepreneurial journey, and what are the things that can go right, what is the right structure, etc. So the way this session is going to be structured is first 20-25 minutes we'll have Kushal sharing his insights, his thoughts on the structured way of learning entrepreneurship, and does it even help, does it even make sense. Post which we'll have a 10-minute section wherein I'll be explaining to you what does UpGrad Entrepreneurship Certificate Program have to offer, and how is it going to help you in your startup journey. So post that we will have we will take live Q&A and answer all your questions, may it be related to program, may it be related to some other aspects of entrepreneurship which you want to kind of ask us. You are free to type your question in the right hand side chat box which appears on your window, and we will take all the questions towards the end of the session. So this is more about it. Over to you, Kushal. You might want to start the conversation.
So it's very important for you to sort of think about your entrepreneurial venture in a structured manner, because everybody when they're starting a company thinks very highly of themselves, which is why they're starting a company, right? But there's a bias inherent in that, which is that you don't know what you don't know, and you will find that out 6 months later, 1 year later.
Yeah.
But the key is there would be other people like you who would have started similar companies, who would have done similar things, who would have made the mistakes already. So you can then learn from their mistakes and avoid making them, and have a much stronger start to your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, got you. So basically, you want every one of us to learn from others' mistakes,
Yes.
and then rather than learning from your own mistakes.
Yes. So I when I started was quite stupid. I didn't follow this, and I thought I'm going to be the next Steve Jobs, and we thought we know everything. We've read his biography. Now let's go start a company. But that's not how it works. Everybody makes mistakes. Even Steve Jobs made mistakes, and every entrepreneur repents later on that I should have known that this is how it works. So it will it's definitely one of the this should be a framework. Like anything new you try in your venture, try and find out who else has done this and learn from that person.
Yeah, I think, and nowadays entrepreneurs are actually lucky that there is material online. I mean,
Yes.
available. There
Yes.
are people like you who are
Yes.
kind of willing to share their experiences,
Yes.
as opposed to something 10 years earlier when someone had to start and kind of struggle to maybe connect to people,
Yes.
etc.
So that culture of helping other people, sharing your learnings, spending time, and with no expectation of anything in return, that has caught on recently in India. So there are a bunch of people who would be willing to give you your time and help you out, give you connections, just hear you out and be a sounding board for what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a big change that has happened in India over the past 10-15 years.
Yeah, got you. So Kushal, going forward, let's say if you were to tell our participants, how do you kind of follow a structured way?
Sure.
What process should you follow and what steps should you take?
Sure.
What would you suggest?
So, see, every startup, when you start a company, your sole aim in the first year or 6 months should be to find something called product market fit, which is that whatever you want to build, are there people who are willing to buy it? Are there people who are willing to use it? Do they actually need what you are building? And do they need it that badly that they will go out of their way and buy it or actually try using it? Till you reach that state, that is the sole objective of your life. Now, to reach PMF, you need to know who's your customer, what are his needs, what is the problem that you're solving for your customer or your user, and how are you going to solve it. That comes next. Most entrepreneurs start with the how first, that I am going to build this app and I'll do this and I'll do that, but they forget to ask the user, where do you want this? So, and then they end up investing months and months of their time in building. They hire a product manager and a developer and a designer, and they build something, and then they realize nobody wants what I have built. So step one is talk to your customer. Go out, meet your users, understand from them what their problem is. Whatever area you may have selected, it is very important for you to actually go and have some face time with the user. Ask him that, this is what I'm doing. Do you think it will help you out? Do you feel it is beneficial? What else can I do for you? That is your starting point. From there, you will understand several other pain points that the customer may or may not have. You would have made some assumptions that if I build this, they might use this. For example, with WhatsApp's first version, they had built an app which you could update your status on. So you could say Shreya is in a webinar, or like whatever, Kushal is playing squash or whatever. But what started happening is people started using that as a messaging tool. So instead of sending you a text saying that I'm in a webinar, people would just put it there and like expect their friends to go and
see.
Because they would get notification on iOS, right? So that's how it started. So they figured out that this is actually being used for messaging and not just to broadcast status messages. So that is how they pivoted then to messaging.
Wow.
And that's how almost all startups start like that. They start in some area and then they realize, not this. This is what my users actually want. So let me try doing this. So that is your step one: identifying the user, identifying his problem. Step two is identifying how big is that problem. Like you can't have only 10, 20 people in your area who have that problem, right? You want to build a company of scale. That means there should be a large number of people across the country or the world who have that same problem, and there should be a way for you to reach those people, right? Like you can't say I want to start a bank because you need a license to start a bank. So you need to figure out whether what you want to do is feasible. Is that market open? Can you launch something in that market? Right? So those are the factors that you need to sort of consider. So when we started Nayi Disha, we decided we will build games for school children. We now within school children we could have gone to parents or we could have gone to schools. We very consciously chose schools because we felt that parents को बेचने के लिए you will need a lot of money. You need a lot of marketing power to do any B2C business. And schools we spoke to, we went and met 10 schools. We understood that they actually need something like this. They might end up buying it. That's how we got the confidence to start the company. Identifying user, identifying their problem, and then you come to your solution and figure out how big the market is. So within schools, for example, we read research reports of other companies who sell to schools. So annual reports come out of all public companies. So for example, in Nayi Disha's case, Educom is a company that sells to schools. So in their annual investor report, you can see exactly what their costs are, how many schools they sold to in that cost, how many schools they could reach, everything is out there, right? So that gives you a good benchmark that okay, this is my product, I'm going to sell it to this type of school. There are so many of these schools in India, and from Educom's numbers I now know that it will cost X amount of rupees to sell to every of these schools, and now you have your business model. Right, so that's the sort of way to think about it.
I think today morning itself I was reading an article on 13 mistakes which entrepreneurs share. And what you said is absolutely right. Someone had shared that they tried to make an entire product and then realized the market is too small. Even if the product is a product market fit, but the market is so small that their business can't eventually succeed. And I think almost 70% of them said that they built something which they thought that the users want. Rather than going to the users and asking them, what do you actually want?
So that is a very humbling process actually. You build something and you think, I'm the creator and like, people are going to love this, and like you spend months and months saying that to yourself, but like the truth is harsh. So you should just face it on day one. Go out, talk to your customer. He may not want what you exactly want to build, but he may want something adjacent to that, and that's where you can make money.
And I think also user research is also kind of a technique, right? Because a lot of times when you are so passionate about your idea and you go and talk to the users, it's very well said that you hear what you want to hear rather than listening to what the users
There's a big confirmation bias in user research, right? When you go out and so typically people go and ask leading questions that, hey, I'm going to build this awesome new product, will you buy it? Obviously he'll say, yeah, I'll buy it. But will he actually pay you? Like, what you could try instead is, that, hey, there's a product, buy it now. Pay me $500 now and I'll deliver it to you tomorrow, whether or not you have built it. So that's the acid test, like whether or not the guy is actually going to pay you, and the way you inquire, the way you sort of dig deeper into what is it. Like if he says no, I don't want to buy it, how do you sort of dig deeper and understand what does he mean by that? Why is he not buying it? What else can I do that he might buy it? So sort of striking that chord with the user, there's a very specific technique to that, and without that sort of structured approach, you will only get the answer that you want to hear, which is pointless, right? So again, the structured sort of approach helps a lot.
And I think a lot of people also do something called the mom test, which basically says if you go and ask your mom or maybe even if you go and ask your relatives
Yeah.
if they will buy your product,
Yeah.
they're bound to say yes, irrespective of if they like the product or they do not like the product. And that's what happens in the end. I think, you know, first few customers can be relatives, but they cannot be the entire business.
Exactly. So in fact, even so when you're selling to your first 2-3 customers, you need to, so each business will get a set of first few adopters. Like at Nayi Disha, we got some schools who bought our product, right? But those were the schools who were very forward thinking and who had budgets and, you know, who were actually looking out for how technology can sort of supplement classroom learning. Not all schools think like that. So you again, we were just getting feedback from the same set of guys who think like us. Now that doesn't mean that, you know, there are enough number of people in the market who think like that and who may actually pay you. So when you do your initial sales or even your initial user research, it's important to sort of diversify the pool that you're talking to. So you know what are your segments in that market and what each segment's pain points are. So you know, going through that's very important. For example, if you take grofers also, right? Like grofers, what I think of grofers and what my mom thinks of grofers is very different. Like for me, it's like great. Like I can just order groceries when I reach home, the guy will be there. My mom is scandalized. Like, why would you ever do that? Like, why can't I just go and buy it, right? So each segment has a different pain point, which you need to sort of think deeply about, and you need to sort of investigate deeply in a structured manner to you know, uncover those pain points.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, adding to your point, I think the positioning in which, you know, the line which you use with your product, the value should be like kind of, you know, directly be visible to your audience while they buy it, because a positioning for your mom might be really different than the positioning which will appeal.
So this user research that you do and the talking to the customer that you do not only helps you figure out what to build, it will also help you figure out how to sell it. So your users you might build something thinking that, you know, this is why they like it. Again, the WhatsApp example is cool, right? I mean, they built a status app and turned out they wanted messaging instead. So that's how you know, okay, this is what the user wants. And so you can sort of structure communication, your positioning, your sales pitch around that. And, you know, look at sort of selling it like that. That is like, that's one of the most sort of crucial insights you will get if you do a structured user research process.
Got you. And so in this entire process of starting up, once you kind of have done user research, have known your market well, you know how is your market going to grow. You have a user persona, and you have kind of went to the market and tested it firsthand with the users. What after that? I mean, how important? When do you start building a team? When do you kind of, you know, start looking into other aspects of that?
So see, that is a very that is unique for every company and every structure. But so reaching PMF itself is very, very tough. Like people have like 1,000 ideas and only one of them will actually work. So you'll have to go through a lot of iterations. It's not easy. And my advice would be not to hire any big team before you reach product market fit, because then there is an action bias. Like if you hire a sales guy, even if customers don't want to buy what he's selling, because you have hired him, you will tell him go and sell, right? Like go out, meet 20 customers every day. That's only because you hired him, and then that's your mistake, not his mistake, right? So before you reach product market fit, it like having a marketing team, sales team, accounts, all of that is irrelevant, frankly. Like doesn't matter whether you have it or not. And that's a distraction. So what you need to focus on is getting to that stage where you know, okay, I now know exactly what I have to build and what my customers are going to pay for. Right? Once you reach that stage, you can expand all your teams and you can look at funding or whatever else you want to do. But that is like your sort of inflection point in your startup journey.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of entrepreneurs, when they start, quite a few of them are hands-on, but there are quite a few people who think, you know, I'll be an entrepreneur. I'll hire someone for this particular role, that particular role. And in that attempt, they kind of fail to themselves talk to the customers. And I think, do you think, I mean...
So yeah, there are a lot of entrepreneurs who do feel that, like, for example, I've seen a lot of guys with tech backgrounds don't like to do sales. They somehow feel it's beneath them, or I don't know, they just don't enjoy going door to door asking people. That's a big problem, because unless you know your user, unless you know exactly what they want, you cannot succeed.
Yeah, in fact, I think the initial founding team so definitely should talk to users, because those are the ones who are going to kind of, you know, build and refine the product.
And it works the other way around also. There are guys from business backgrounds who feel like tech killer, I'll just hire some engineer and he'll build it, and That's not how it works. Like there are several layers of complexity to building products, and if if your company is going to build something, you should know exactly what are the steps involved. How will it work at 100 people using it? How will it work at 1,000? How will it work at a million people using it? So it's important to sort of understand that. But yeah, I mean, hiring the team is important, but you need to know the fundamentals of your business through and through.
Yeah. And what about finding the right co-founders for your startup? I think this is one question which almost everyone has.
Yeah.
And there are, points around should your co-founder be your friend so that you both work together, or should he be someone with complementary skill sets who he brings complementary skill sets to the table,
Sure.
so that you guys mix and match and kind of.
So my philosophy there is, so everybody has a different answer, but my philosophy is that don't go for skill set, go for the person, because your startup journey will be very, very stressful. Whatever plans you make, whatever decisions you take, things will go wrong. You will make an Excel sheet, you will think, okay, month 3 I'll make this much money, month 6 I'll make this, month 9 this much, month 12 this much, and when month 12 comes, you have nothing, like zero, nada. And then you will fight with your co-founder saying you didn't do this, I didn't do that, blah blah blah. Things get stressful. Now in that situation, unless and until you and your co-founder are together because you actually like working with each other and you actually believe in what you're doing, that team will not survive that stress. So at that point, you will not stick together because you are a sales guy and he's a tech guy, or he's a tech guy or a sales guy. You will stick together because you have a good relationship. So you need to find a co-founder or a co-founding team whom you have blind trust on, that whom you can predict, okay, in this situation, this guy will act like this. I know, I'm 100% sure because I know him for so many years and I know this is the way he behaves, this is what he likes, this is what he doesn't like. It's like a marriage. Like you would, like, it's like if you do an arranged marriage, it's a risk, right? Like the person may or may not be complimentary to you. So you need to date that person for a while, know that co-founder, spend some time with them, understand what they like, what they don't like, figure out what your chemistry is with that person, and then get married to that person. So it's actually exactly like a marriage. So think very carefully, and the divorce is also as painful if it doesn't work out, right? So yeah, that's how you find a co-founder. On skills, you can always hire the person. I mean, if your idea works, if people are using it, then you will get funding or you will get other people who will see that this is working, and you will then be able to attract the right talent. So don't get a co-founder on board just for some skill set.
Yeah. So once, let's say, you have built something, you have a team on board as well, you have good co-founders, and you're seeing some traction.
Yeah.
Right. The logical next step is, how to scale your business, or when should you approach investors? I mean, do you need to have some traction before approaching?
Sure. So see, there are different types of investors. The earlier you invest in a startup, the riskier it is, right? So there are seed investors, angel investors, growth investors, VCs, and so on, Ps, and so on and so forth. At your stage, depending on who you are, what your background is, you may be able to raise some money on day zero, something like maybe 10, 20 lakhs, maybe up to a crore also. That would be your seed funding. Okay. Once you build something and you show some traction that, okay, this is the basic product and this is what we have built, then you may be able to raise an angel round, which will again be between anywhere from 0 to and about 5 crores, could be anywhere in that ballpark. Now, all this is conditional on your background. You should have some good professional experience. You maybe know some investors directly who know what you're working. If you have no background, no experience, then it's very tough to get that day one check. Almost impossible, in fact. In fact, most people who try to raise money are not able to raise money. So think very carefully about whether you actually want somebody else's money, because it's a big headache to handle his expectations and his it's not that they'll just give you the 10 lakhs and say go and do what you want. They'll ask you questions every week. They'll have some targets for you. What will happen is, typically if you want a crore, you will get 20 lakhs upfront and the rest will be based on targets. So they'll say, okay, fine, you want a crore, here's a 20 lakh check, show me these numbers in 3 months and I'll give you 20 lakhs more, and then so on and so forth. So you're just then digging a hole for yourself, because you're then basically you're doing what the investor wants and not what the market wants you to do. So think hard about who's the right kind of investor for your business. Do you need money for this business, or can you just go out and sell this product and get money from your customers, or can you get a loan from a bank or from a friend or something like that? That is always a better option. Just ask your friends for 50,000 each, or just put in some money like that and start your company. If it doesn't work out, you can pay them back in due course of time, right? You can get a job, work hard, and go and pay them back. So yeah, don't run after investors in the first sort of journey of your life, of your startup life. Once you reach product market fit, again it depends on your business. If you are in a business which will not become bigger without some additional investment, right? Then you need money. Like for example, WhatsApp took money, but they just put it in an account and they never used it. They had $8 million in funding, which they just didn't use because people were paying $1 a year for their service, and they had millions and millions of users. So they had millions of revenue coming in. They actually were paying taxes on profits. So think hard, like whether you need that money. Can you not make that money from customers? Can you not avoid this headache of going out and asking for VC money? If and only if you feel that without raising money, for example, if I was Flipkart, I started the company, my site is on, people are buying products. Now I need to build a warehouse, right? Because without a warehouse, I cannot have so much products in stock. I need money for marketing. So then you need that money, and without raising VC funding, you cannot build a Flipkart, right? But there are many other companies which run, like Microsoft did not raise VC funding, so you don't have to always think about just how will I raise money. So that's a reflection which an entrepreneur has to do and think very hard about how and why do I really need this money? If yes, who should I go to and ask for this money? And you need to then plan for that. Like if you want to raise money in December, you should start in May. So it will typically take you like 3 to 6 months to get some money into the company. So yeah, that's my perspective on fundraising.
Yeah, that's interesting. And what's your perspective on nowadays more and more people are moving towards online marketing, right?
Yes.
If I scroll Facebook, I see at least 4-5 ads running. Within my feed and etc.
Yeah.
So what are your views on have people is offline marketing channel as worth using, or people should just move to online, because a lot of people are kind of I see. Are generally kind of lazy to kind of do the offline marketing because it's definitely painful as compared to online marketing. So, what are your views around that?
So, I would say that again depends on what you are selling.
Yeah.
Now, if you do, so your initial user research and initial sales has to be one-on-one. So, for example, when UpGrad was started, the founders went and sold seats on the programs directly to the customers, explaining here's what we are building, here is the program. This is where it will benefit you. Why don't you, enroll yourself for the program? When you do that, you understand why the customer is buying your program. What is it? What is your USP? What is it that you should sell to your customer? Then you can take that messaging and that communication, and then you can create digital ads, or then you can start doing digital marketing to target specific type of people. So your offline marketing will help you narrow down your TG. You will know exactly who likes to buy my product and exactly why do they buy it. Once you do both of these things, then you can run those. Then you can find those same people on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or wherever, and then deliver that message on here's what your problem is and here's how I'll solve it. So that initial offline marketing is key to sort of figuring out your message and your TG. Once you have that, then you can scale that up with online marketing.
Got you. So yeah, a blend of online plus offline is kind of crucial to.
Yes. Initially, also online marketing can help you, get some leads, like because you may be in a situation where your user may not be reachable. Like for example, my users were kids at Nayi Disha, right? So I can just barge into a school and tell them, what do you think of this? So I had to think of ways to sort of go around that. One way would have been that I could have just run a digital ad for a carnival saying bring your kids to play with Santa Claus, and then 50 parents would come there and I could do my user testing there. So you need to sort of figure out ways. Online may be a way for you to get your crowd in the room and do your user testing there.
Yeah, got you. So basically, these are just different methods of getting something of your interest, getting leads, and finally kind of talking to them, figuring out if they want your product or not, are they going to buy it, etc. Yeah, so I think that's about it. You have very nicely taken us through all the phases from the initial idea validation to user research to market sizing to competitor analysis to the other funding as well as scaling the business phases. So now what we are quickly going to do, guys, is I'm going to take you through the program brochure real quick, which will help you understand how the UpGrad certificate program in entrepreneurship is going to help you in your journey. And post which you can keep posting your questions on the right hand side in the chat box. The questions can be either related to what we covered right now, or they can be specific to the entrepreneurship program. So the next batch of the program is starting on 24th June. I'll quickly take you through the brochure. Meanwhile, you can keep posting your questions on the right hand side. The Q&A will happen in the last program has specifically been designed to teach you how to start up a new business. So so first of all, as you guys know, Ronnie Screwwala, along with Mayank Kumar and Falgun Kompali, as well as Ravi Jot Chuk, they founded UpGrad with a vision to train people and equip them with the right skills which is required for them to proceed ahead in their career. So, what does this program specifically offer? I'll just quickly move to content before I move to the features. So, this program is designed as part of in 8 weeks. What is covered in 8 weeks? Okay, so it's basically in the first 6 weeks, we will teach you how to identify how to identify if you have chosen the right idea. What pain points are you going to solve? Who is your customer? Who are your competitors? What is the share of the market which your competitors have already taken? What is your market size? So there are different approaches of calculating market size, like the top down or the bottom up approach. So we will teach you about those approaches. The way we work is, let's say for example, we teach you about how to calculate your market size using the top down approach. Post that particular content which is taught to you in the form of online recorded videos with some of the leading entrepreneurs of the nation. You will have an assessment which will ask you to use the concept on your own idea and submit the assignment. So basically, you will have to do the market sizing on your own idea and submit the assignment, post which you will get a feedback on that particular assignment. And this is going to happen at every stage. Let's say we teach you how to do user research, how to conduct user interviews, post which we will ask you to conduct user research on your own idea. You will have to conduct the user research on your own idea, submit the findings in the form of an assignment, and the experts will review your assignment and give you feedback as to have you done the right thing, or you have done something which is not really right, and they will give you a feedback on what's the right way to do it, right? Moving ahead, once you know your users, you will work on what are the different types of business models. Which business model is the right one for your business? What is the unit economics which is involved in your business? So once you know all this, then comes the most important part, which is, let's say we're using some simple softwares like InstaPage, you will list down some key features of your product, some key what is the positioning of your product. That's something which you'll write on the Insta page. You'll go to the market, or you'll use online marketing channels like maybe Facebook, or organic channels like emails to gather some leads. You'll talk to those initial leads and see if they are interested in your program. So at the end of 6 weeks, since you will have done all of this, you will have an answer to, is your idea in the current shape and form worth going ahead, or does it need to be pivoted? Now, let's say if you come to a conclusion that your idea needs some pivoting basis the user interviews which you have conducted, then you'll have to redo the entire exercise from initial stage on your new idea, and so on. You'll keep getting answers to your questions. Now, once you have validated and tested your idea in the market, the next most important thing is business launch and growth. So what we are doing is, in the last 2 weeks, we won't give you deadlines for assignments, or we won't give you assignments for that matter, but in the last 2 weeks, we will give you a content ranging from digital marketing to B plan to building your team to legal, finance, as well as fundraising, evaluation, and pitching and term sheet. So what these modules will do is, you can access these modules for 1 year post the completion of the program. So as and when you move ahead with your journey, you can just come back and keep referring to these modules take some learnings from there, apply them on your idea, and then move forward. Now, after having trained more than 600 entrepreneurs, one thing which we realized is, along with content, unless and until you talk to some industry expert from your own domain, it doesn't, if you talk to some industry expert from your own domain, it adds a lot of value. And hence, in this particular program, we will provide you with 2 mentorship sessions with industry experts. The way it works is, once you enroll in the program, you'll have to submit the details of your idea and questions for your mentor. Once you submit those questions, we will send you top 3 to 4 mentors who match your requirement, from which you have to choose one particular mentor. And once you choose that mentor, you have the flexibility of choosing the time for as well as the date of mentorship. And once you choose the time and date, at that given time, you will receive a call from the mentor. These mentors are senior professionals from the domain in which your idea belongs. For example, from the media industry, we have senior professionals from Z. In the same way, for e-commerce industry, we have senior professionals from Flipkart, Myntra. In the fintech domain, we have people from Paytm, FinMantra, and so on and so forth. We have people from manufacturing, B2B e-commerce, etc., etc. So you can see the details of the mentors which we have in the brochure, which you must have received via email as well. And besides this, what we do is, throughout this 2 month span, we will be organizing a couple of live lectures with industry experts. For example, for the last cohort, we had one of the lectures with Mr. Pawan Soni. He took them through, how to monetize your startup idea. In this live lecture is open only for students who are enrolled in a particular batch. Hence, you can come to the live lectures, you can talk to the expert and get your questions answered, get your doubts answered. So it's a very good chance to come network with them and take your idea forward. Besides this, one of the most important things which this program offers is, thrice a year we hold something called a UpGrad Startup Showcase Day. What happens is, on this day we invite incubators and experts as a part of jury, and selected participants are allowed to come here at the UpGrad office in Mumbai and present their idea in front of incubators and experts. And you can also network with these incubators, and if they like it and you want to go ahead, you can actually take it forward. So that's more about what we offer in this particular program. One important thing which is there to note here is, generally there's a perception that in an online program there would be no peer-to-peer interaction. But at UpGrad, we are very focused on peer-to-peer interaction, and hence, if you see our platform, there would be a discussion forum on the left-hand side, wherein you can actually talk to all your peers. You can see the profile of all your co-learners, and you can network and kind of take things forward within yourselves as well if you gel together, right? So the most important things which this program offers is personalized industry mentorship, opportunity to pitch your idea in front of incubators and experts, and the opportunity to network and collaborate. We keep having events in Mumbai, events in Bangalore, events in Delhi, as well as Pune. So you're free to attend any of those events. These events are on various topics. You can attend those events, and if you find something interesting, you can definitely give it a thought. So I would say the USP for this program is to offer you a personalized one-on-one support for starting up. And hence, if you are interested in actually taking your idea forward, you should definitely think about this particular program real quick. The reason being, we have the next batch starting 24th June. So we will be closing admissions soon. The price point for this particular program is INR 32,000 plus taxes, and we do have flexible payment options available. So since the batch is starting on 24th June, if you guys are interested in taking things forward and enrolling for the program, these are the 2 email IDs which you can see on your screen. You can write to any of these email IDs. If you write to startup@upgrad.com, you'll definitely receive a call back, or you will receive a reply as soon as possible to take things forward with you. You can also visit the website and directly submit your application and proceed with the payment as well and enroll for the program. So this is more about the program. I'll just quickly move to the uh, last part of this session, which is Q&A. So yeah, thank you guys for being with us. I think we have a couple of questions here. So we'll take the first question from Abhishek. Abhishek is asking, how do you find a team to create website? I have an idea, but not getting a team to create it.
Okay, so I'm assuming you would have some budget, and whatever your budget is, either to create a website, you can go. There are many sites like where you can go and find freelancers. There are Facebook groups, there are email chains, there are sites where you can go and find freelancers,
People per hour.
people per hour, hire somebody like that, and get it made from them. My advice would be to keep your cost to zero. So ideally, there would be a template of a website available online which you can just download, use WordPress, and get started. If for example you want to start a shopping site, there are again templates, Overcart, Magneto, a bunch of companies which give you the option of just Shopify, just starting selling online immediately without much technical expertise. So figure out. So again, building a website is not that important. It is not that difficult to do. What is difficult to do is figuring out what your website should have and what is it that you're going to sell. So you should focus on that part. The website, hack your way through it. Like get some friend or some college student or somebody as an intern or as a freelancer to come and do it for you guys.
Yeah. So Abhishek, I would also add to this that there are some softwares like Instapage which we cover in the program as well. We teach you. So Instapage is something like a dummy website. It won't have a lot of tabs, etc. But you can create a landing page in it. So my suggestion would also be that first create a landing page, test it with your users, and then you go for a full-fledged website. So that is again something which we definitely cover in the course. Yeah, that's about it. I think. I hope we answered your question. So I mean, if you have any follow-up question, you can definitely type it in the chat box, and we would be more than happy to take it. Right?
Sure.
So we have another question coming from Bidesh. He's saying, sir, if my clients will be some organization like some schools or etc., so it's thought to talk with them. I mean to say, will it be thought to get them?
I think it means tough to get them.
Okay, I think Bidesh, you might have to retype your question.
Yeah.
Because so we are kind of finding it difficult to understand.
I think what you mean, if you mean it's tough, then the answer would be that finding your first 5-10 customers is always very tough, and the way you find them is through friends and family. So your mom's friend or dad's friend or somebody somewhere would be a school teacher or a school principal. So you can request them to, can I come and meet you? And then that's how you find your first 5-10 users to test with, which would always be our network. Go post on Facebook, go post on Twitter. You'll find some teacher who's tweeting on Twitter. You can just tell her, hi, I'm doing this. Can I come and meet you for 30 minutes? People don't generally say no for that. So just go out and find people. Yeah, I think you can go to your own school and start with that only. Yeah. And so I think we have, I hope we answered your question, Bidesh. You can type any follow-up questions. So we have a question from Manjiri. She's saying, does the course cater to the aspects of providing services as opposed to building a product? So I think as far as the program is considered, it's pretty neutral when it comes to, either building a product or services. Yeah. It's more on focusing on aspects. So building a product or building a website or, having a services platform for that particular matter is a secondary part. We focus more on, what exactly your users want, what the services should be, when should the services be offered, or when should the product, how is the product going to look and feel. So more on those aspects, more on the user research aspects, and more on the later on also digital marketing, which can in general be used either for a product or for a service. So I think it's definitely, this course is neutral when it comes to building a product or a services, because we have a separate course on product management for those who want to deep dive into kind of building a product itself. But so the thought process of what market you're going for and who's going to buy your service, that is not that is agnostic, right? So even for a services company, you have to still figure out who will buy your service, and what type of services will you give, how much will you price that for, how will you hire your first team, and all of that is same whether you're doing a product or a service. So I would say that our program definitely covers all bases there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Manjiri. If you have any follow-up questions, please do let us know. I think we have another question from Yashasvi Prakash. He's saying, I have no friend who is interested in startups. So I'm the only one left. So should I just do everything alone?
I mean, yeah, it's up to you, Yashasvi. I mean, it's a stressful journey, no doubt. So it will help if you have a co-founder who's a friend. But there are people who start companies on their own and they're able to make it that big. So, and there are umpteen examples of solo entrepreneurs who went out. Dhirubhai Ambani did it on his own, right? So, if you want to do something, you can take the jump and do it. I don't see why your friends should stop you.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I'm sure if not friends, we'll definitely find someone like-minded and kind of, network, eventually become friends, and then you can definitely start together.
Yes.
Yeah, so I hope Yashasvi, we answered your question. You can type any follow-up questions in the chat box if you are not satisfied with the answer. So next we have a question from Pranav. Pranav is saying, I have a project related to energy resources. After completing the project, I have planned to start up with business. But how can I get funding for the project on energy resources?
So, Pranav, I don't know what exactly you're doing within energy. So, this is a lot of caveats, but there are a lot of government funding available for energy projects, especially in solar, wind energy. You can get a grant to start a solar plant. Banks will be willing to lend to you if you have a solid business plan and a project plan. So, my suggestion would be you should go and talk to somebody who is an energy entrepreneur or somebody who works in such a company and find out from them what financing options are available. You may have to do some initial pilot with your own money, so be ready for that. Like figure out if you can get some kind of some funding from your parents or from your friends or from some uncle, maybe 5 or 10 lakhs if you can put together and just do your first pilot, and then you could probably go get a loan from a bank or from the government. You may get a grant.
Yeah, got you. And I think we have another question from Snehal, which is saying, please help me about people management. So I think she's basically, Snehal, correct us if we are wrong, but I think you're basically talking about, how to manage people and the culture as you grow up, how to keep your team motivated, especially in a startup scenario.
So there's no easy answer to that. I mean, you will learn on when you. That's a far away scenario. Where you first start your company, start doing your. I mean, start find your product market fit. All of this, be like how do you manage people and all that. You will figure it out. You will learn by practice. There's no straight answer to that.
Got you. I think there's one more follow-up question which Abhishek is asking, which is there a way that I can get my idea validated from experts, and before wasting any time, I may know that the ideas actually have potential to survive, and how far
Yeah.
will it go?
So see, that's the duality in that, which is that every successful idea, no people would think that it's a rubbish idea, right? Which is why nobody else did it. So until it becomes successful, the experts in that field feel that it's not a great idea. But that doesn't mean you should not talk to them. You should go and talk to experts and understand why that idea is a bad idea. For example, there was a company called Webvan in 1999 which used to sell groceries online. At one point, they were valued at I think 10, 20 billion or something. It was an insane figure, and then suddenly they shut down because in 1999 nobody had computers to go online and buy groceries online, right? So there was just no market for that. Today, there's a company called Instacart in the US. There's Big Basket in India. There's Amazon is selling groceries online. So today, there's a right time and place to start a company which sells, groceries online. So you need to the guy who started Instacart. He would have 100% gone and spoke to the guy who started Webvan and asked him in 1999 what went wrong, why did it not work. So what may be a good idea or what may have not worked earlier, it may work today. So you need to understand why things fail, and hence you need to go and talk to an expert. But keep in mind that people will still generally give you a negative feedback saying yaar ye to nahi chalega or this is not something people want. For example, food delivery, like 3 years back even I thought it's a silly idea. Why will I want to order food on my phone when I can just I can call the restaurant, right? So why should I bother? But now I see it like there are 10,000 restaurants I can order from and I can see my food coming, I can pay online. So yeah, I get it now. So the experts in a field are experts because they've not invented something new after that point, right? So if you're doing something new, then take their advice with a pinch of salt and try and dig deeper into why they are saying what they are saying.
Yeah. And I think just to add to it, Abhishek, if you really want to validate your idea and know if you should move ahead, if it actually has the potential, if you want to know a structured framework of doing it, then do refer to the UpGrad Entrepreneurship program because trust me, I think that's what we are here for and that's what we are actually covering. And you won't have to bother yourself, and within 6 to 8 weeks, you will have answers to all these questions which you have currently. So that's, I think, about it. And next we have question: should we make from Pranav? Should we make any other project before getting any loan from government or bank? I think this is a follow-up question related to energy resources.
It depends on Pranav what you're doing. We'll need some more details before I can give you an answer. It really depends what your project is, what your idea is. And most definitely, you will not get funding without showing some traction. Whoever it is, whether government, bank, your dad, or whoever it is, nobody will give you money, just for an idea. So you have to show what you are going to build, try and give some demos, and hopefully that will help you convince people.
Yeah, we have. I hope that answers your question, Pranav. We have a question from Shashi. He's saying getting a dealership or starting a production plant in manufacturing sector. Which one is better for startups?
So Sashi, this again depends on how much money you have and what you want to do in life. I mean, that's the same. I mean, I don't know what dealership you want or I don't know what manufacturing plant you want to start, right? So depending on each of that, what kind of money you have, where you are placed in life right now, that's a very there's too many factors that will affect that decision.
Yeah, got you. So I think that answers the question. We have one interesting question from Nitish, which is saying, "Good evening, sir. We have built one web application, but we are facing problems with marketing as well as hiring. So what to do?" I think this is a burning question.
So every startup will face that problem. Nitesh, so whoever your web application is for, go and meet that person. As I said earlier, go and talk to your users, understand why they are using your product or why they are not using your product. Your product is, like in the first year of your startup journey, your product should be your marketing engine. If your product is good, it will sell. If it is not good, then no matter how many ads you run, it will not sell, right? So focus on the product, figure out what your application does, who it is for, how is it helping that person's life, and if it is helping, then go and ask him to tell his friends, right? That if you are happy with the product, great. Can you tell 5 other friends about this product? And then those 5 friends will tell more 5 friends, right? So that's how your marketing starts. After that is when you should start really spending money on marketing. Now on hiring, that's a challenge. Yeah. I mean, there's again no real answer to it. Unless you have a lot of money, you can't hire talented people, right? And so your first, I mean, again depends on what you're doing. If you need engineers to come in and code, or you need some kind of, I don't know, machine learning guys, or I don't know what you need right now. But depending on what you need some money. Otherwise, people won't join you. So the way to do it is to sell your vision. You need to go to them and say, like, look, hey, today my company is worth nothing, but this is what we are doing and this is the idea. And here is why I am devoting my life and my time to it. Here is why I think in the next 5 years this is going to be a $1 million startup. And today I'm giving you the opportunity to join me on day zero, so you can build this with me. And together we will create a great company, and I will give you a stake in that company. So if you don't have money to pay him, you can pay the person in equity and sell them on your vision. That's really the only way out, and basically bring them on as a minority co-founder. That's your only solution to hiring. Other solution is if it's some small work like graphic design or some, I don't know, selling or something like that. Then you can hire interns and you can hire freelancers who will do that for you. So you don't have to pay them too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much the way to make it work.
Yeah, and if it's just about marketing and you really want to get started or something, you can actually explore some basics of digital marketing programs, because I'm sure in pretty less time you'll at least be able to run first few campaigns for your particular product until you kind of hire a new guy, right? So I think that's about it. We do not have any other questions. Guys, this is the last call. If anyone has any other questions, just write it down on the chat box. If all your questions have been answered, in that case, we will pretty much be ending this chat. So I think there are no other questions. Abhishek, we did get your response. Thank you for letting us know that you will be checking the UpGrad course.
Thanks, Abhishek.
Yeah, we hope this session was useful for all of you, and we wish you all the best for your entrepreneurial journey. So yeah, thank you so much. Stay tuned. Stay tuned on the UpGrad YouTube channel, and you will definitely find many more interesting webinars, etc. happening. Recordings from some entrepreneurs, etc. also there, which will definitely be very useful for you. Not only on entrepreneurship, but even if you're looking something in the fields of data analytics, in the fields of digital marketing, in the fields of product management, feel free to explore the UpGrad platform, and we are here definitely to help you and make a positive impact in your life. Thank you so much, everyone.
All the best, guys.
Yeah, all the best.